All righty. We're back here on the show. Love talking to the guy that's in the red chair next. He is one of the great singer-songwriters this country's had. He has done it as a solo artist and in a band as well, but he's also a really big part of the conversation. The one that asks the question, are we asking the right questions about mental illness and mental health in this country? He is one of the 300,000 plus Canadians who've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He has weighed heavily into it. He deals with it. He is upfront with his own personal story and perhaps his connection to others with it. And he writes about it as well. Arrows of Desire is his new record, Had It Coming as a song. I want to play just a little bit of it before Matt Good comes in. Take a look at this.
Cruelty-free, why heavens me, I never thought I'd see the day. Cruelty-free, why heavens me, I never thought I'd see the day. I had it coming.
Matthew Good, everybody! What's up, man?
How are you doing, buddy?
We are a little too close here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your record.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Would you call this a back to the basics, young man?
Yes.
As you get older, and I mean, your songs, even though some of the sounds may change, the lyrics are still banging. You still put a lot of thought into the things you're trying to say. Have you found that this is your ability to communicate how you feel has changed over the last 10 or 15 years?
You know, it really depends on, I think, what you're trying to strive to do. I mean, you know, in 2004, there were a lot of artists that, given the presidential election was coming up, right? And, you know, I mean, you know, Steve Earle, The Revolution Starts Now, he did that record. I did the White Light Rock and Roll Review. They were very direct albums, you know. And, you know, topically, over the last 3 records that I've done, you know, they've been topically poignant. You know, I've talked about myself and mental health issues, and then I've talked about, like, the town I grew up in and whatnot. I think with this one, I really just wanted to be a little bit more ambiguous, you know, and employ more metaphor so that people could more directly apply to themselves situationally within their lives.
I want to read you a quote, okay? Wait for me if I don't show up. Take from me this hypocrite's cup. Somewhere around the world, someone would love to have my first world problems. Kill the moon and turn out the sun, lock your door and load your gun, free at last, yeah, the time has come to choose. You kind of coined in popular culture the phrase first world problems.
I did, I guess, inadvertently.
Yeah, because everybody who uses first world problems, the first time most of us ever heard it in the first world, so-called developed world, is in your lyric.
Yeah, and ironically, it was a hidden track on my first record. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't find out about it until someone sent me a link to that Know Your Meme website.
Yeah.
And I just kind of sat there and looked around and went, do I get royalties?
I believe the correct answer is no, you do not.
I guess not.
You get royalties for that.
Yeah.
How has the conversation for you changed around mental illness now that it's been years since you've talked about it?
It hasn't changed at all. I mean, you know, what?
You don't find there's a greater understanding, greater awareness of it now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, there's a lot more, you know, I mean, over the years, there's been a lot more public initiatives with regards to it. There's a lot of people in the corporate sector that have, you know, tried to raise awareness and the rest of it. I mean, I still think that there's a long way to go with regards to it, you know, but, you know, it's a fight that a lot of us continue to wage every day, and we'll continue, you know, continue to do it, and, you know, that's all you can do.
Last time we talked, you had this interesting thing where you were able to go back and see how your behavior was affected by being bipolar, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And does more stuff become crystal clear as time goes on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you reflect back on things, you know, like before you're diagnosed, and things come sharply into focus, you know, with regards to your behavioral patterns. And, you know, I mean, for me, like we've talked about this before, for me, I can go back to grade, like, 2, you know, just sitting at a desk shaking, you know, and being put on Ritalin in the 70s and all of that. So, you know, I mean, yeah.
Do you think people are having the right conversations about that now?
I think so. I think that we live in a tricky age, though. I mean, you know, it's very difficult because, you know, there is a focus put on it in a way that, you know, if you think that, you know, maybe your teenager is depressed, you'll go to your GP and they'll, you know, say, well, I'm going to put them on an antidepressant. But all teenagers are depressed, you know. I mean, just go listen to the Smiths. It's you know, it's a common occurrence, really, you know, and that doesn't mean that you know, you have a that you suffer from a mental illness. Right. You know, but then again, there's a lot of people out there that don't get the help they need that do. So, and then also there's the socioeconomic factor of what happens with regards to, you know, with regards to mental illness. I mean, we just, as Canadians, we're paying for, you know, basically our version of the NSA, right? To its new headquarters will cost in excess of $1 billion, but they can close pretty much all long-term mental health facilities in the greater Vancouver region, and those people end up on, you know, on the Lower East Side on the streets. 70% of them, you know, or roughly around there, end up on drugs.
I wonder if we're just built for it. It's in a societal way. We haven't structured ourselves that way. We don't vote like that's important to us. We don't operate. Maybe
of course we don't.
On an individual level, we can say that stuff, but we don't get the group to play along.
Well, that's why I commonly believe, like, the, you know, democracy is a facade. I think within, if you look at it historically, I think within kind of like the city-state model, it worked, you know, in a small confined area where, you know, you had a small amount of people operating within a, you know, participatory government. I think, but I think, and now in a national level. I mean, obviously the reality is we've always lived in a plutocracy anyway. So, but
there's a version of democracy here that seems to work better than the options that have been presented to people.
Sure, but there will be better options in the future. To ignore that fact is to say that we've reached the pinnacle of human political, you know, enlightenment, and that's ridiculous.
I'm not sure that we're ever going to reach that, are we?
Probably not. Not before destroying ourselves.
And how long do you think we have? I think Bob Geldof came out and said we only have like 12 years left or 18 years left or something.
I don't know. Was he dressed as a Mayan?
Yeah, no. What a pleasure to see you, man. Thanks for coming, buddy. Matthew Good, everybody.
Thank you.
Arrows of Desire. He's on tour across Canada. We've got all the dates for you on our website. You can find those dates at Strombo.com. We'll be right back.